got a chance to see the new Netflix show Back in Action. And yes, Cameron Diaz is back in action. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. Yeah, I just got a Game of Thrones game in, so I might be doing a little video on that. But yeah, let's talk about the new Netflix show. I was very excited to see Cameron Diaz come back. You know, she hasn't done anything in like 15 years. So she went off grid and retired, I guess, to do other things. But I was happy to see her come back. Big fan of hers. In fact, I had just watched Night and Day. Not but I rewatched that, and I was surprised about how rewatchable that one is. And this is kind of picking up off that same type. In fact, the storyline here, well, there is no really storyline, but the elements here are very similar to some of the stuff that I've done. In fact, I have a female spy thing here where it's the same type of thing where she is a mom, but they don't, and again, they don't know, even the husband doesn't know what she does, where here it's she and the husband were having an affair while they were agents, and then she ends up getting pregnant. And they end up basically during a literally a fight or flight situation in the beginning. They decide to quit and work regular jobs. You never really find out what they do in a regular job, but they could not have really picked a better two to do this, because Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz have some really good chemistry here. There's some of the dialogue. We're going to get into a little bit of what's bad about it. But they really have good chemistry where you want to continue watching them together. And that's rare, because a lot of times you'll see these things where they couple people up and you're like, yeah, you have absolutely no chemistry at all and it doesn't work. But I really think that Cameron Diaz carries a little this more of this film than Jamie Foxx does. I mean, Jamie Foxx is charming, and I can tell that some of the stuff that they did was off script, where they were just bantering, because sometimes they repeated some of the lines because they were trying to be impromptu, and that's the part that didn't really work for me. But when they were sticking to script, and when they were just kind of little lines here and there or little gestures here and there, that's when it really worked. And it was a fun time. So, again, I'm going to get into some stuff I did not like. But I got to say that the action really worked. I think they did a really good job with the action. They didn't go too far where they were making her kick the ass of like 3-4 guys. What she would do is literally set him up to knock them out. I liked that a lot, where she would set them up. Now, she got some of her stuff into it as well, but more times than not, she would throw them over to him and kind of hit them a few times. Then she got hit a few times too, where if she got hit, that's that was one of the things I talked about in my book, that women get hit by a man, they probably ain't getting up, so you're gonna have to evade more times than not as well. So she got hit a couple of times here, but for the most part, she stayed at a distance and used him to set things up. I really like the teamwork that the stunt coordinators created with this. And so this is written and directed by Seth Gordon. He is the producer of The Goldbergs as well, and he's directed a few episodes of them. Of course, he's a producer, he can pretty much do what he wants. And then he also did, which is totally different than the Goldbergs, I got to hand it to him that he can, step over genres. He also directed the Night Agent, which I thought was pretty good. And in fact, you have a couple of people here in from Night Agent, and one of those people is Fola. Hope I say her name right, because it's not an easy. Fola Evans Akinbola. She had a little part in Game of Thrones, but the big thing I know her from is I think it was on the CW called Sirens. Either that, it was on the Disney offshoot network. I forgot what that was even called. Somewhat an F. But anyway, so she was in there. She had a main role in there. I didn't know she was British. Maybe she's not. I don't know, but she has an accent in this one where she never had an accent in Sirens. And then Andrew Scott. It was good to see Andrew Scott in this because he plays Moriarty in the Sherlock back when in the Sherlock series with Cumberbatch. He's really good. And he only has a smaller role here. McKenna Roberts comes in from Euphoria. And then Ryland Jackson, who played a little teeny role of Den of Thieves with Dungeons and Dragons. This is really his first role. So you got to hand it to him. But McKenna Roberts, I think, definitely has a good job. She does an amazing job here. And she has a very similar chin to Cameron Diaz. So I was like, all right, I like it. It's working. So yeah, I like the movie overall. And before we get into some of the stuff I did not like, let me talk about my stuff. I just showed you Cats, which is my female spy, but I also have Destiny Aurora. This is my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. No, oh my God, no. This is, I have a female spy one. This is my epic sci-fi. I'll get into the vampire one here in a second. And plus, you can see behind me, that's my novel. If you like novels, that is my YA fantasy series. This is also a 4-novel series. It's also on Audible. And again, it's a epic sci-fi. And if you like comics, and if you like regular novels, I have obviously 4 novels on Amazon. And then here is my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. I guess so. I get so used to it, I kind of jumped the gun. But this is a 2-issue series with 48 pages apiece, so they're like double-sized. And it is The Godfather meets True Blood. So the other one is for all ages. This one is for adults. It has blood, sex, and violence in it. This is the Maryland cover of the 2nd issue, and you can see the Nosferatu in the back there. This is the Katana cover. This is the Were Panther cover. I also have this in a nude version. I also have these all digitally as well. The Helene cover, and then the Samurai cover. So yeah, if you want any of those, let me know. Just put a note in the comments section. And then I also hooked up with Moonstone Books, where we're doing a Green Hornet 9th anniversary anthology. This is not it. It's going to be hardcover, but this is one of the ones they've done in the past. And it is going to be helmed by Timothy Zahn, who created Thrawn for Star Wars, as well as Kevin J. Anderson, who also did Dune. He also did a Star Wars book as well. Cover art by Matt Wagner from Batman and Grendel. Lots of great talent on this. We have another 8 writers on the thing. It's going to be awesome. We have over 250 followers on our Kickstarter already. It's going to be kickstarting less than 10 days. So really coming up. And anyway, you can click the link in the description below or go to greenhornetnoir.com and get notified. It's going to be great and amazing, so definitely don't miss out on that. All right, so let's jump back into in action. But anyway, I can't say enough how much I enjoyed seeing the 2 actors together. But again, there was some things I did not like about it. And that is, one, I didn't like when they went off book and some of the dialogue got very awkward. I was wondering who they were going to bring in for the mother, because they constantly talked about Cameron Diaz's mother. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be an older actress, so they're going to bring in somebody that's well known because they're going to get her a little bit cheaper because she's going to be older. And sure enough, it was Glenn Close. And she did a great job too. But I'm going to get into the one character I did not like at all. But anyway, they end up capturing the kids, which is, not really a spoiler. It was going to be a given. But if kids are getting captured, they're gonna go kicking and screaming, right, away from their parents. So they're gonna, they're gonna put up a struggle. Here they were just running with them to the helicopter. I was like, what? That was a very odd directing choice there, I thought. So that I didn't like. I really liked the beginning on the plane. I thought that whole system was done really, really well. And of course, they were supposed to age 15 years from the beginning scene to, them going into present day or whatever. And of course, they didn't really de-age them at all or anything to that effect in the beginning. So you just got to go with it. But the one character I could have totally done without was the Nigel character. His name is Jamie Dimitro. I don't know what his name is. Kyle Chandler also comes in from Bloodlines. He was also in King Kong. I think he was also in Godzilla. He was like one of the characters with Millie Bobby Brown, which I dislike. He only can play certain roles without coming off just annoying. Here he was okay. No issues here. But again, I can only stomach him for certain roles. But Jamie's character, Nigel, I wish he was eliminated. I wish he was eliminated completely. He was an annoying character. He was trying to be like the foil, like the comic relief, and it just didn't work. So originally they were keeping their old lives a secret from their kids, and then eventually they tell them. But Nigel didn't know that. Nigel is dating Glenn Close, and they're kissing and stuff like that. It's actually kind of gross. But they, and like kissing passionately kind of thing. So it just doesn't work. But anyway, so he's like teaching them or talking to them about spy stuff, but he never got approval from the parents. He didn't know what the kids knew and what they didn't know, and he's just blah, blah, blah. I thought that was really, really bad. And his comedic timing does not really work. He just comes off awkward, not funny. I didn't laugh at anything he did. Where that compared to Cameron Diaz is on it. She knows how to play cute. She knows how to play funny. She knows how to play kick-ass. Everything she does, she pulls off in spades. Then you compare it to this other guy, Nigel, which him and Andrew Scott were both in Fleabag as well. And also, Fola was in Night Agent, which is, I'm sure, how she got this gig because, as I said, the director directed Night Agent. But yeah, so the whole thing with Nigel, if the movie would be totally elevated for me if Nigel wasn't in the film at all. He's just bad. He's just really bad, and he tries to come off as endearing and all this stuff, and it's just like, really, you're overdoing this, you're overplaying this role, and it's written poorly. And I don't know if he was, riffing at all, if he was going off book at all to try to be funny. I just did not like that character. So I loved everything until he came into the picture, and then I started cocking my head at it. And unfortunately, he's in the rest of the movie from that point on. So I definitely liked the first half of the film more than I like the second half. And of course, it has really no plot whatsoever. It's a MacGuffin. Here it's a key. Not like the key from Mission Impossible, but, it's a computer key. And you're going to notice this too, is that they get off the plane and he has nothing in his hand for the most part. And then later on, he said, yeah, I took the key, and he still had the box. So there was like a lot of holes here. So you gotta roll with the punches on some of this stuff where they really could have, with another rewrite and knocking Nigel out of this and just having Glenn Close by herself, it would have been a lot better. It's definitely better than average. I enjoyed myself. I might even watch it again. So with that being said, I think I'm going to give it like a 7. But I'm between a 6.5 and a 7. Because but because the main actors are so good in it and so likable and so watchable, that's what elevates the whole thing, even without any plot, and even with Nigel being in it. But yeah, even in my book, I have the daughter is mean to the mother. The mother tries to endear herself because that's just normal teenage stuff, and I have that in my book as well. But with my book, the daughter actually gets recruited as opposed to what happens in here. But anyway, so that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know if you guys watch it, if you guys liked it, if you guys agree with me. Should Nigel just be eliminated? Maybe we can get a director's cut without Nigel in it. Anyway, remember to give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. And if you can subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. It is free, and you'll get notified about when I do additional reviews and things to that effect. And also remember, go to greenhornetnoir.com and get signed up for that right now, or the description, the link below. No, the link is in the description below. And yeah, have a great week, guys, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.